Hello everyone, this is Lita from Online Learning Services. For faculty to assign a watermark assessment in Canvas, OLS needs to create the assessments first and deploy them to course sections. Without this step, we will not be able to assign something in Watermark. To give faculty and their departments a deeper understanding of what our team is looking for before developing assessments in Watermark, I wanted to give you a behind-the-scenes tour of what we see on the admin side and how assessments are created in Watermark Student Learning and Licensure. To develop effective assessments in Watermark, our team needs the following information when creating and deploying assessments to courses. We are looking for rubrics that your department as a whole is using for your SLOAs and/or program assessments. For example, if your department has deployed a new rubric for the core and it is ready to be added, please send it to OLS. Ideally, your rubric should include descriptions for each level. For example, what equates to a score of 3 versus a score of 1 for a specific element or criteria of the rubric? What should instructors be looking for in the score that they are giving to the students? We also need to know what courses the assessments need to be deployed to. We do not need the Canvas assignment instructions for the assessment unless it is the same set of instructions across all of the courses using that assessment. In most cases, we'll be using a generic set of instructions and include a file upload button. If your assessment has specific standard alignments, we will need to know that when developing the rubric as well. Let's make our way over to Watermark to show some examples of what we're looking for. First, let's take a look at a couple of rubric examples. The first example I want to show you is the English 105 Research Essay rubric. This rubric has 5 elements or criteria that the students are being assessed on. Each scoring level for each criterion has a description of what equates a 4, a 3, 2, 1, and 0. As a default, we include NA or not applicable as an option for rubrics in case that element is not being graded in the assessment, and selecting NA will not impact the student's score. Without this option, it requires the instructor to select a numeric score. Each element of the rubric is also linked to the Core 1 standard. Below each of the scoring levels, you can see whether the students have met or not met the standard based on that score. Let's take a look at another example. The next example is the EDU 590 Research Paper rubric. You'll see that this rubric has a brief element description. However, each scoring level has a description to indicate what equates the 4 through 1 scoring scale. Underneath each element, it also has 2 standards, AQUEP and CSR. Each of the scoring levels have been indicated as met versus not met. This will make reporting easier for education to assess how students in the program are doing with these 2 standards for accreditation and program development. Why are the rubric descriptions important? The descriptions are important for multiple reasons. Descriptions give students a better understanding of why they score what they score and sets a goal or standard for them to try to achieve. If the scores are not released to the students after they are assessed and are used specifically for SLOA purposes, it helps newer faculty or adjuncts understand what the assessment is looking for. It provides a roadmap for newer instructors on how students are doing with the learning outcomes of the department or program. If you watch our Watermark reporting videos on YouTube, you may remember you can run reports on rubrics and standards. If you have descriptions of what each scoring level has and your department notices students are struggling with a specific element of the rubric, you can get a deeper understanding of how to improve student learning for that element. Going back to the English 105 research essay rubric, let's say there's a decline in element 3 regarding collecting and assessing research materials. Most students are scoring a 2 or a 1 on the rubric for that element. That tells instructors that they may need to spend more time on evaluating research materials in class, provide more assignments that are research-focused, or give examples of well-written versus poorly written evaluations of research materials. In terms of meeting or not meeting specific standards, the standards report provides a quick glance using pie charts to see how courses or programs are meeting standards and is incredibly helpful for accreditation purposes. This will also come in handy for running reports for SLOAs. You can learn more about the standards reporting in the Running Reports in Watermark video or in our webinar recording for the Department Chair training on running reports. Now that I've broken down the rubric development process and what we're looking for, let's take a look at the activities or assessments that are linked to the rubrics. Going back to our English 105 essay, here's the template for that assignment. As I mentioned previously, the instructions for the assignment are not specific to the course's Canvas assignment. This is a generic set of instructions that tells the students to upload their work and click Submit. There's a File Upload button for that activity as well. On the right side, we have the assessment panel that has the English 105 research essay rubric attached, as well as a feedback box. Here is a preview of the student's view when it's awaiting submission, awaiting assessment, and after it is graded by the instructor. Here's a preview of the instructor's view when it's awaiting submission by the student, awaiting assessment by the instructor, and after it is graded. You can see that the View Rubric Details allows the instructor to see each criterion and the descriptions of the scoring levels. Let's look at the EDU 590 research paper template. This assignment has instructions provided in the template that are specific to the assessment. That's because the instructions are the same for each instructor that teaches this course, and the parameters are the same each year for the students submitting the assignment. Once again, the rubric is attached on the assessment panel for the instructors to use. How does OLS deploy activities in Watermark? Now that I've shown you what we need for developing assessments in Watermark, I also want to show you how we deploy or send those activity assessments to your courses. On the admin side, we go to the Templates tab. Next, we go to that template and select Create Activity. We give the activity or assignment a title. Often, it reflects the same title as the template, but may vary depending on the courses or template. For example, if we're launching the same assessment for CSC 111 and CSC 202, we may title them CSC 111 Assignment or CSC 202 Assignment. Next, we look for the specific sections we need to deploy the activity. We then adjust the dates. For the due date, we often use the last day of the semester, unless specified by the instructor or department. Then we click Publish to send it off to those courses so it can be linked to Canvas assignments using the external tool submission type and setting up Watermark SL&L as the external tool. We included a how-to guide in our last newsletter as well as the newest edition for attaching those assignments. We technically have two methods of deploying or launching activities, but this method is the most common when we deploy the same activity to multiple courses at once. Thank you for watching this behind-the-scenes tour of Watermark. I hope you found this useful for developing your Watermark assessments. As always, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at onlinelearning@strohs.edu. Thanks for watching.